Right now, as you listen to my voice, you might be washing dishes, folding clothes, or taking a quiet walk through your neighborhood. Maybe you're stirring soup on the stove or organizing papers on your desk. And somewhere deep inside, there's a voice whispering that you wish you could express yourself in English the way you do in your heart, in your own language. You have thoughts, dreams, feelings, and stories that deserve to be heard. But when it comes to English, that voice gets stuck somewhere between your heart and your mouth. I want you to know something that might change everything for you today. Learning English doesn't happen in textbooks or classrooms. It happens in these quiet moments when you're living your life, moving through your day, breathing in and out. The most beautiful English you'll ever speak will come not from memorizing rules, but from allowing the language to flow naturally through the rhythm of your everyday life. Think about this for a moment. When you learned your first words as a child, you weren't sitting at a desk with a grammar book. You were playing, laughing, reaching for things you wanted, expressing needs and feelings. You were living, and language was simply the soundtrack to that living. That's exactly how English can become part of you now. Not as something foreign and difficult, but as something that moves with you through your ordinary, beautiful day. I've created this space for you because I believe that English learning should feel like coming home to yourself, not like trying to become someone you're not. Every time you listen to these words while you're moving through your daily routine, you're not just learning a language. You're giving yourself permission to be heard, to be understood, to connect with the wider world in your own authentic voice. The truth is, you already know more English than you realize. The words are there, waiting quietly in your mind, ready to come alive when you stop forcing them and start inviting them gently into your daily moments. When you're walking, your body is relaxed, your mind is open, and this is when language can flow most naturally. When you're cooking, your hands are busy, but your heart is open, and this is the perfect time for English to become part of your natural rhythm. By the end of our time together today, I want you to feel something shift inside you. I want you to realize that you don't need to wait until you're perfect to start speaking. You don't need to be afraid of your accent, your mistakes, or the way your voice sounds when it speaks English words. Your voice is beautiful exactly as it is, and English is simply waiting to be colored by your unique way of seeing and feeling the world. This isn't about becoming fluent overnight. This is about falling in love with the process of letting English become part of who you are. One gentle breath at a time, one step at a time, one stirred pot of soup at a time. As you listen to my voice, imagine that I'm walking beside you, cooking with you, sharing this quiet time with you. We're going to discover together how English can feel less like a subject you're studying and more like a friend you're getting to know. So take a deep breath, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Let your shoulders relax. Let your mind soften. We're about to begin a journey that will change not just how you learn English, but how you feel about your own voice in this world. The first thing I want you to understand, really understand, is that fear is not your enemy. Fear is simply your heart trying to protect you from being hurt, from being judged, from feeling small. But here's what I've learned from walking alongside thousands of English learners. The fear of making mistakes is actually the biggest mistake you can make. Every time you hold back your words because they might not be perfect, you're holding back a piece of your soul that wants to be expressed. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Native English speakers make mistakes all the time. We stumble over words, we forget what we were saying mid-sentence, we use the wrong word and have to correct ourselves. Language is messy and imperfect because life is messy and imperfect, and that's what makes it beautiful. When you speak English with mistakes, you're not speaking broken English, you're speaking brave English. Right now, I want you to try something with me. Whether you're walking, cleaning, or cooking, I want you to say these words out loud. I am not behind. I am exactly where I need to be. Say it again, and notice how your voice sounds in the space around you. Your voice has the right to exist in English. Your thoughts have the right to be expressed in English. Your feelings deserve to be heard in English, with whatever words you have available right now. Think about learning to walk as a child. You didn't wait until you could run a marathon before you took your first step. You fell down probably hundreds of times, and each fall taught your body something new about balance, about movement, about the relationship between wanting to move forward and actually moving forward. Learning English is exactly the same process. Each mistake is your mind learning something new about how this language works, how it feels in your mouth, how it carries your meaning from your heart to the world. I want you to imagine English not as a test you have to pass, but as a garden you're learning to tend. Some days you'll plant seeds, some days you'll water what's already growing, some days you'll just sit quietly and watch what's beginning to bloom. There's no rush, no pressure, no judgment. There's just you, patiently and lovingly creating something beautiful over time. When you're walking and thinking in English, you might notice thoughts like, the sky looks gray today, or I need to buy milk later. These simple thoughts are perfect. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're just honest observations from your daily life, and this is exactly how fluency grows. Not from trying to sound impressive, but from allowing English to become the natural language of your internal dialogue. Here's a practice I want you to try. As you move through your day, start giving yourself permission to think incomplete thoughts in English. Nice weather today. This coffee tastes good. I'm tired but happy. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Don't worry about complex sentences. Just let English be the gentle companion to your daily experience. The most important mindset shift you can make is this. Fluency is not about knowing everything. Fluency is about being comfortable with not knowing everything and speaking anyway. It's about trusting that your meaning will come through even when your words aren't perfect. It's about remembering that communication is about connection, not perfection. I want you to repeat after me and really mean it. My English is not perfect. And that's perfectly okay. Say it again. My English is growing stronger every day. One more time. I choose progress over perfection. These aren't just nice words. These are the foundations of a healthy relationship with English learning. When you catch yourself feeling frustrated because you can't express something exactly the way you want to, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what am I really trying to say? Then find the simplest way to say it. Beautiful communication often comes from simple, honest words spoken from the heart, not from complicated sentences that sound impressive but feel empty. Remember, every English speaker started exactly where you are now. Every fluent speaker once struggled to find the right words, once felt nervous about their accent, once wondered if they would ever feel comfortable expressing themselves in this language. The difference between people who become fluent and people who give up is not talent or intelligence. It's persistence, patience, and most importantly, self-compassion. As you continue whatever you're doing right now, walking, cooking, cleaning, I want you to carry this truth with you. You are not trying to become someone else when you speak English. You are simply learning to be yourself in another language. Your personality, your humor, your wisdom, your kindness, all of these beautiful parts of who you are can shine through English words. The language is just the vehicle, but you are the precious cargo. Now I want to talk about something that will transform your English learning experience, the art of gentle listening. Not the kind of stressed, anxious listening where you try to catch every single word and panic when you miss something. I'm talking about the kind of listening you do when someone you love is telling you a story. Relaxed, open, trusting that understanding will come. When you listen to English while you're walking, something magical happens. Your body is in motion, your breathing is natural, and your mind is not trapped in the anxiety of trying too hard. This is the perfect state for language absorption. Your brain can focus on the rhythm, the melody, the feeling of English without the pressure of perfect comprehension. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't need to understand every word to understand the meaning. Think about how you listen to music. You don't analyze every instrument, every note, every lyric. You let the music wash over you, and somehow your heart understands what the song is trying to say. English can be the same way. As you listen to my voice right now, notice that some words stand out more than others. Notice the pace, the pauses, the way emotions color the sounds. This is how native speakers actually listen to each other. We don't process every single word. We listen for meaning, for feeling, for connection. I want you to try something beautiful with me. As you go through your day, start having gentle conversations with yourself in English. When you're making coffee, you might think, I love the smell of coffee in the morning. It makes me feel awake and ready for the day. Don't worry if the grammar isn't perfect. Don't worry if you mix languages sometimes. Just let English be part of your internal world. When you're walking, describe what you see in simple English words. Green trees, blue sky, happy dog. These simple observations are building blocks of fluency. They're teaching your brain to think in English naturally, without translation, without stress. Here's something wonderful to try. Start talking to the objects around you. When you're cleaning, you might say to your dishes, "Thank you for holding my food." When you're folding clothes, "These shirts are clean and soft." It might feel silly at first, but you're actually doing something incredibly powerful. You're making English feel normal, friendly, and unthreatening. The secret to thinking in English is not to force it, but to invite it gently into your daily moments. When you're cooking, instead of thinking in your native language and then translating, try to think directly in English. I need to add salt. This smells delicious, almost ready. Start with simple thoughts and let them grow naturally. One of the most beautiful practices you can develop is English gratitude. As you move through your day, occasionally pause and think in English about something you're grateful for. I'm grateful for this warm jacket. I'm grateful for this peaceful walk. I'm grateful for this time to myself. This practice not only improves your English, it also fills your heart with positive feelings. When you're listening to English content, whether it's my voice or music or conversations, try this. Instead of focusing on what you don't understand, focus on what you do understand. Celebrate every word you catch, every meaning you grasp, every moment of connection you feel with the language. If you find yourself getting frustrated when you can't understand something, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I'm not supposed to understand everything right now. I'm exactly where I need to be in my learning journey. Then gently return your attention to what you can understand, what does make sense, what feels familiar. Here's a beautiful truth. Your English doesn't have to sound like anyone else's English. It can have the rhythm of your heartbeat, the melody of your native language, the warmth of your personality. When you stop trying to sound like someone else and start sounding like yourself speaking English, that's when real fluency begins. I want you to practice something called English self-talk throughout your day. When you're walking, quietly narrate what you're doing. I'm walking slowly today. The sun feels warm on my face. I see a beautiful flower. When you're cooking, I'm cutting vegetables. This onion makes my eyes water. The soup is getting warmer. This gentle practice teaches your brain to operate in English naturally. Before we continue, I want to ask you something from my heart. If these words are helping you feel less alone in your English learning journey, if you're starting to believe that maybe, just maybe, you can do this, would you consider subscribing to our channel? Your subscription tells me that these gentle moments we share matter to you, and that gives me so much joy. And here's something beautiful we can do together. In the comments below, share one simple English phrase you practiced today while walking, cooking, or cleaning. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be impressive. Just share one honest thought you had in English. When you share it, you're not just practicing English. You're connecting with a community of learners who understand exactly how you feel, who are walking this same gentle path of growth and discovery. Remember, every time you choose to think in English, even for just a moment, you're not just learning a language. You're expanding the space in which your heart can express itself. You're giving yourself new ways to connect with the world, new ways to share your unique perspective, new ways to be understood and to understand others. The most beautiful thing about learning English is discovering that you can express yourself right now, today, with whatever words you already know. You don't need to wait until you have a perfect vocabulary or flawless grammar. Your current English, imperfect and growing as it is, has the power to create real connections and express real meaning. Let me show you something amazing. Right now, you probably know enough English to have simple conversations that could brighten someone's day. When you're at the store and the cashier says, "How are you today?" you can respond with genuine warmth. "I'm good, thank you. How are you?" These 4 simple words carry kindness, acknowledgement, and human connection. This is fluency in action, not because it's complex, but because it's real. When you're walking through your neighborhood and you see a neighbor walking their dog, you have the English you need to create a moment of connection. Your dog is beautiful. What's his name? You might be nervous about your pronunciation. You might worry about what to say next. But in that moment, you've used English to reach across the space between 2 human beings and create something lovely. Here's what I want you to understand about micro wins. They're not small because they don't matter. They're called micro wins because they happen in tiny, perfect moments that add up to something magnificent over time. Every time you think a thought in English, that's a micro win. Every time you understand a word you didn't know yesterday, that's a micro win. Every time you speak English words out loud, even to yourself, that's a micro win. While you're cooking dinner tonight, I want you to try something beautiful. Pretend you're hosting a cooking show in English. Describe what you're doing as you do it. Now I'm washing the vegetables. I'm cutting the onion into small pieces. I'm heating oil in the pan. Don't worry about sounding professional or impressive. Just practice letting English flow naturally as you move through a task you know how to do well. One of the most powerful realizations you can have is that most real English conversations are made up of very simple sentences. When friends meet for coffee, they don't speak in complex academic language. They say things like, "How was your day? This coffee is really good. I've been thinking about you. Tell me about your weekend." These are the sentences that build relationships, that create intimacy, that make life richer. I want you to imagine going to a cafe and ordering in English. You don't need complicated vocabulary. You need, "Hello, I'd like a coffee, please. Can I have a small coffee with milk? Thank you so much. Have a nice day." These simple sentences can get you everything you need and leave everyone involved feeling good about the interaction. Here's a beautiful practice for when you're cleaning your home. Have conversations with imaginary people in English. While you're folding laundry, imagine you're talking to a friend. "I've been so busy this week. I'm finally catching up on housework. How has your week been?" While you're washing dishes, imagine you're talking to a family member. "Dinner was delicious tonight. I'm grateful we could eat together." This kind of practice prepares you for real conversations without the pressure of actual social interaction. The secret to building confidence in English expression is to start where you feel safe and gradually expand your comfort zone. If thinking in English feels safe, start there. If talking to yourself feels safe, start there. If writing simple sentences feels safe, start there. Every safe step you take builds the courage you need for the next slightly braver step. When you're walking, practice having different types of conversations in your mind. Practice asking for directions. "Excuse me, how do I get to the library?" Practice making small talk. "Beautiful weather today, isn't it?" Practice expressing preferences. "I prefer tea to coffee." These mental rehearsals are building neural pathways that will serve you when real conversations happen. Here's something wonderful about English. It's incredibly forgiving. Native speakers are used to hearing accents, used to figuring out meaning even when grammar isn't perfect, used to being patient while someone searches for the right word. Most people want to understand you, want to help you communicate, want to connect with you. Your imperfect English is usually much more understandable than you think it is. I want you to celebrate every single time you successfully communicate something in English, no matter how simple. Did you ask for help in a store and get what you needed? That's a victory. Did you tell someone thank you and see them smile? That's a victory. Did you understand the main idea when someone spoke to you in English? That's a victory. One of the most beautiful micro wins you can give yourself is learning to express your feelings in simple English. I feel happy today. I'm a little worried about tomorrow. This music makes me feel peaceful. I'm excited about the weekend. When you can express your emotional world in English, even simply, you're not just learning vocabulary. You're learning to be authentically yourself in another language. As you continue whatever you're doing right now, remember this. Fluency isn't about never making mistakes. Fluency is about being comfortable making mistakes and continuing to communicate anyway. It's about trusting that your meaning will come through, that people will understand you, that your voice deserves to be heard in English just as much as it deserves to be heard in your native language. Every day, in small ways, you're becoming more fluent. Every English word you think, every English sentence you speak to yourself, every moment of English understanding you experience while walking, cooking, or cleaning is building something beautiful inside you. You're not just learning a language, you're expanding your ability to connect with the world. Your voice speaking English is beautiful exactly as it is right now. I want you to really hear that, really believe it. Your accent, your rhythm, your unique way of shaping English sounds carries the music of your native language, the wisdom of your culture, the warmth of your heart. When you speak English, you're not trying to sound like someone else. You're learning to sound like yourself speaking English. The most important thing about pronunciation isn't perfection. It's clarity and confidence. When you speak English with confidence, even if your accent is strong, even if some sounds are different from native speakers, people understand you better than when you speak with perfect pronunciation but no confidence. Confidence is the bridge that carries your meaning from your heart to the listener's understanding. As you walk today, I want you to try something that might feel a little strange at first, but will transform your relationship with spoken English. Talk to yourself out loud. Describe what you see. I see tall buildings. The sky is getting darker. There's a red car parked on the street. Don't worry about who might hear you. Most people are too busy with their own thoughts to pay attention, and those who do notice will probably just think you're on a phone call. Here's something beautiful about walking and speaking English. Your breathing is natural, your body is relaxed, and this creates the perfect conditions for your voice to flow freely. When you're sitting at a desk trying to pronounce words correctly, your body might be tense, your breathing shallow, but when you're walking, your whole being is in a state that supports natural speech. I want you to understand something important about listening and repeating. When you hear English words, don't just listen with your ears. Listen with your whole body. Notice how the sounds feel, how your mouth wants to move, how your breath wants to flow. Then, when you repeat the words, trust your body's instincts about how the sounds should be made. One of the most powerful pronunciation practices you can do while cooking is to narrate your actions out loud. I'm chopping vegetables. Now I'm heating the oil. The garlic smells wonderful. As you speak, don't focus on perfection. Focus on the rhythm, the flow, the way English words can dance together to describe your experience. Here's a secret that will change everything for you. Native speakers don't speak perfectly either. We mumble sometimes, we slur words together, we make sounds that aren't exactly like the sounds in dictionaries. Perfect pronunciation isn't the goal. Natural, confident communication is the goal. When you're cleaning your house, try singing in English. It doesn't matter if you can't carry a tune. Singing relaxes your voice, makes pronunciation feel playful instead of stressful, and helps you internalize the rhythm of English. You might sing simple songs, or you might just make up melodies for describing what you're doing. I'm washing dishes. Washing dishes, making everything clean. I want you to record yourself speaking English sometimes, not to criticize yourself, but to become familiar with your own voice speaking English. Often, we sound much better than we think we do. When you listen to your recorded voice, instead of focusing on what sounds wrong, focus on what sounds right. Celebrate the words you pronounced clearly, the sentences that flowed nicely, the moments when you sounded confident and natural. Here's something to try when you're walking. Practice the rhythm of English by speaking in a regular beat, like your footsteps. I am walking to the store. I need to buy some food. The weather is nice today. Let your feet set the rhythm and let your English words dance to that beat. The truth about accents is this: they're not mistakes to be corrected. They're signatures of who you are, where you come from, what languages have shaped your mouth and your mind. Some of the most beautiful English speakers in the world have strong accents. What makes them beautiful isn't that they sound like native speakers. What makes them beautiful is that they speak with confidence, clarity, and authenticity. When you're doing household tasks, practice the music of English by paying attention to which words you naturally stress. In the sentence, I love cooking dinner for my family, notice how your voice naturally emphasizes love, cooking, and family. These are the content words that carry the meaning, and your instincts about which words to stress are probably correct. One of the most beautiful things you can do for your pronunciation is to speak English words with genuine emotion. When you say thank you, let real gratitude color your voice. When you say good morning, let genuine warmth make the words glow. When you say I'm happy, let actual happiness lift your voice. Emotion makes pronunciation natural and memorable. Here's something important to remember. Every time you speak English out loud, you're doing something brave. Every time you let English words come out of your mouth, knowing they might not be perfect, you're choosing courage over comfort. This courage is building something powerful inside you, the unshakable knowledge that your voice deserves to be heard, that your thoughts deserve to be expressed, that you belong in English-speaking spaces. As you continue your day, whether you're walking, cooking, or cleaning, I want you to practice speaking English with love. Love for the language that's opening new doors for you. Love for your own voice that's learning to express itself in new ways. Love for the journey you're on, with all its imperfections and discoveries. When you speak English with love, your pronunciation becomes not just clearer, but more magnetic, more memorable, more truly yours. Remember, confidence in pronunciation doesn't come from sounding like everyone else. It comes from sounding like yourself, speaking clearly, and trusting that your voice has something valuable to offer the world, in English and in any language you choose to speak. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to pause for a moment, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and recognize something beautiful. You've just spent this time immersing yourself in English while living your life. You haven't been sitting in a classroom, struggling with textbooks, or forcing yourself through boring exercises. You've been walking, cooking, cleaning, and allowing English to become part of your natural rhythm. This is how language truly becomes part of who you are. Think about what's happened in your mind and heart during our conversation. Maybe you've felt moments of recognition where you thought, yes, I can do this. Maybe you've felt moments of relief, realizing that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of speaking English. Maybe you've felt moments of excitement, imagining yourself using English more confidently in your daily life. These feelings are not just nice emotions. They're the foundation of lasting language learning. Learning English is not about becoming someone different. It's about becoming more fully yourself, with more ways to express your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams, your humor, your wisdom. Every English word you learn is not replacing something in your native language. It's adding to the beautiful collection of ways you can share yourself with the world. I want you to understand something that might change your entire relationship with English learning. You don't have to choose between being perfect and being silent. There's a beautiful third option that most people never consider: being imperfect and speaking anyway. This is where real fluency lives, in the brave space between wanting to communicate and not having all the perfect words to do it. As you continue walking through your life, literally and metaphorically, I want you to carry with you this truth. Every step you take while thinking in English, every meal you cook while practicing English phrases, every room you clean while narrating in English is building something magnificent inside you. You're not just learning vocabulary and grammar. You're rewiring your brain to be bilingual, to be bicultural, to be a bridge between worlds. The English you're learning in these quiet, everyday moments is different from textbook English. It's warmer, more personal, more alive. It's English that knows the smell of your coffee in the morning, the rhythm of your footsteps on familiar streets, the feeling of satisfaction when your living space is clean and organized. This English isn't just academic knowledge. It's lived experience. I want you to make yourself a promise right now. Promise that you'll be patient with yourself on the days when English feels hard. Promise that you'll celebrate yourself on the days when English flows easily. Promise that you'll remember that language learning is not a race, not a test, not a competition. It's a journey of becoming more fully who you're meant to be. Here's something beautiful I want you to remember. Every person who speaks English fluently today was once exactly where you are now. They once struggled to find words, once felt nervous about their accent, once wondered if they would ever feel natural speaking English. The difference between them and people who gave up isn't talent or luck. It's persistence, self-compassion, and the willingness to keep practicing even when it feels imperfect. Your English journey is uniquely yours. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's journey. Maybe you learn faster by walking and listening. Maybe you learn better by cooking and narrating. Maybe you learn best by cleaning and thinking. Honor your own learning style, your own pace, your own way of absorbing and expressing this beautiful language. As you move forward from here, I want you to carry with you these affirmations. Say them to yourself, believe them, let them change how you feel about your English learning. I am not perfect, and I am progressing. My voice deserves to be heard in English. Every day, in small ways, I am becoming more fluent. My English is good enough to create real connections. I choose courage over perfection. One of the most beautiful gifts of learning English is that it connects you to a global community of people who have also chosen to step outside their linguistic comfort zones. When you speak English, even imperfectly, you're joining a conversation that spans continents, cultures, and experiences. Your voice, with its unique accent and perspective, adds something to this global conversation that only you can add. I want to end our time together today with an invitation that comes straight from my heart. This channel, English from the Heart, exists because I believe that language learning should feel like coming home to yourself, not like trying to become someone else. If these words have made you feel less alone, less afraid, more hopeful about your English journey, please consider subscribing. Your subscription tells me that this gentle approach to learning matters to you, and that gives me so much joy and motivation to continue creating these peaceful spaces for learning. And here's how we can grow together. In the comments below, please share your favorite sentence from today's episode. It might be something I said that resonated with you, or it might be an English sentence you practiced while listening. When you share it, you're not just practicing English. You're contributing to a community of learners who understand exactly how you feel, who are walking this same path of gentle growth and self-compassion. Remember, as you return to your walking, your cooking, your cleaning, your living, English can be your quiet companion through all of it. You don't have to set aside special time to learn English if you don't want to. You can learn it while you're living your life, one breath at a time, one step at a time, one kind word to yourself at a time. Thank you for allowing me to walk with you today, to share these quiet moments of learning and growth. Until we meet again, be gentle with yourself, be proud of your progress, and remember, your English journey is not about reaching some distant point of perfection. It's about enjoying this moment right now. When you're brave enough to keep learning, keep growing, keep believing in your own voice, you're doing beautifully.